Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hey, this is Derek Metz.
Yeah, this is him.
Hey, this is Troy Powell in Greensboro. How you doing?
I'm good. You? I was wondering, I can't believe you're
Are
calling
you there?
back now. Yeah, I remember you. Are you there?
Hello?
1 second. Are you there?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. I remember you, Troy. I was wondering when you was going to call back.
Well, I was actually waiting on you. When we last met, you were going. I told you I needed to know what your grounds were that you wanted to appeal um, the inspector's 48-hour decision, and because his decision had not yet been made, but I was waiting to see what grounds you had, because you were more referring to the um,
No, we talked about that. Remember, he came out and did a 48-hour notice for the windows being open. I closed the windows within the 48 hours, but he had already he acted like he was the one who pulled the power to the house that same day that he condemned the house on the 29th. And he pulled the power on the 29th, but it was really Beverly who pulled the power. I found out through you.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, because my inspectors don't pull power.
Yeah, I know. You told me they would laugh at y'all if y'all called the company and try to pull the power. But anyway, Larry made it sound like to me and Carla, they never told me anything like that. They made it seem like they were the ones who pulled the power. And they also told me that I would have to hire a certified electrician to come in through the house when they came back out and condemned it again on the 9th of July. Or whatever, they told me that I would have to have hired a certificate to get the electricity back on in order to have them cut it back on. So they pretended like the whole time that it was all through them, and then you're the one who told me that y'all can't do that. That's how I found out about the her cutting off the power. And so,
Okay.
so he condemned the house on the 29th and pulled the power on the 29th. Didn't give me the 48 hours. I fixed the windows and stuff in 48 hours, and he came back out on let me see, on the 9th. That was on the 29th. He came back out on the 1st of July with Carla to do the inside inspection and to inspect the house, and then they condemned it again for not having power. And that's when they told me I would have to hire a certified electrician to get the power cut. It's all lies or something. I just don't understand why they're doing this.
Have you had your hearing yet? The hearing notice. Did you get it?
No, I haven't had it yet. I got to call and be part of the hearing. I think it's on the 3rd of August.
Let's see. I'm looking at some notes here.
Yeah, and then like Carla lied in the first report. They didn't know. Like I was on the website where you can click on your house and see the uh, ordinances and what rules are broken, and then there's a report you can download. And they uploaded the report. And when I downloaded it, Carla had lied 3 times in the report, or 4 times. And then while I was looking at the report, Larry called me and was on the way out to the house, and he was letting me know he was about to pull into the driveway. And I said, why would Carla lie in y'all's report that y'all? I got it downloaded right here. And he said, I don't understand. He goes, I don't know, man. He goes, we'll talk when we get there. And he got there, condemned the house, and didn't put the thing on the door of all the infractions and stuff that I was supposed to fix. And he said that he was going to have to. I said, well, where's the report? He said, well, me and Carlos got to go back in and fix it and add some stuff to it. And I said, Carlos said that you're supposed to put the thing on the door the day of you're condemning it, and then y'all were going to mail the owner a letter in the mail of the infractions. He goes, I'm not doing that. I want to just speak to the owner from now on. And he left me and went and talked to the owner, Beverly, and left me. And then he didn't put the thing on the door until the day of our court date on the 12th. We had court on the 12th, and that was the day I talked to you.
Yep. Yep. That's it. You talked to me. That's
Yeah,
right.
can you believe? Like, I don't understand why they're doing this to me. Like, I don't understand. Like, I haven't done nothing to them, and they're like
So
helping.
where are you living right now?
It's staying in my car every night. So I leave the house every single night and stay in my car, or I try to get a hotel with money that my dad or someone loans me, and then I try to get a hotel. And so me and my dog's been staying in my car for like 12 nights.
All right. Now, when um you had told me that you were evicted and they gave possession back to your landlord. What's the status of that?
No, they didn't. They did see that day when I spoke to you on our court date. My landlord and her cousin kept opening the gate to my house to let my dog, trying to kill my little Dotson. And so I took my dog to court, and when I did, I told the judge as soon as it was my turn to speak that he was out in the car, and I was freaking out. And she gave me 30 minutes to get rid of the dog, find something to do with the dog. So I drove all the way back to the house, dropped him off, got back to the courthouse in literally 43 minutes. She gave me 30, and she had already submitted a judgment against me and didn't even hear none of my side. So I appealed her decision and did a stay of bond where I have the right to stay there until our new court date, which is in September, which is a jury by trial.
Uh-huh.
Or a trial by jury, sorry about that. And so
Right,
that's in
so what are
September.
the violations, let me look here and see what your violations are.
Like, I have fixed everything. I put the globes on the lights. If you look at the pictures, I put the globes back on the lights, and I took all the electrical stuff down that was outside, like the box that don't have the coverings on both sides of the house. I took those out. I took everything. I fixed everything. Put the smoke, the carbon
So does the
monoxide
power
detector.
company, so does the power company have the power back on the house?
No. She refuses to cut it back on. She made me. She goes, I didn't call the power company. She said y'all called her the day after I spoke with you. That y'all called her and said that y'all escorted me out of the building when I tried to come in there to do an appeal. And I was like, no. I told Troy told me that
No,
it sounds like.
you left on your own.
Oh no. I was
Up
like, what are you
front.
talking about? I was like, and she said, no. They said they escorted you. And I said, Troy told me that it sounds like you cut the power off illegally. And she got real mad and said, I didn't call the company. Pretty much the power's in her son's name, and so is the gas. And so she's
Uh,
going to pretend like she didn't call, but she had her son call and cancel the power, is what she's doing.
Alright, so it's, let's look at these pictures here.
Like, this has been the most horrible experience of my life. Like, I can't believe that it's legal to do stuff like this.
Now, it looks like there's stuff that's burned up. What burned up?
It was just what the main bedroom upstairs. There's two bedrooms upstairs, and there's a spare in my bedroom, the master bedroom. And I put my vape pen, that you smoke, and put the nicotine juice in. I put it on charge and laid it on my bed, and like 30 minutes later, it was on fire when I was downstairs. And I put it out myself. The fire department didn't come. Nobody even knew the fire happened until I told everybody and had the insurance adjusters
Right.
and stuff come out. But it's the only room upstairs is that room that's damaged and has soot in it now. It's only that main master
Yeah.
bedroom.
Yeah, so it looks like the inspector does have safety reasons for you not
Electrical
being in
issues,
there,
yeah. He says electrical issues.
especially if a fire's done started. And
Well, no, if you
that
was
would
to
be
see it in person, like the cops and everybody can't believe that y'all condemned it. They're like, I don't understand because the first day when they came out on
well,
June
well,
7th,
for
they're
one,
like,
so here's a couple things. One, um, I can see some electrical issues in the pictures.
yeah,
Two, you had a fire in there that was caused by electrical issues. And three, there's no power to the dwelling. All right, so those are major issues, major violations. So those will be reasons why, obviously, the inspector has a condemnation order. Now, I'm going to put forward your appeal, but unless you take care of those three,
I
like
did.
you
I've
got to get
already
all the
taken
stuff,
care of
you got to get all
everything.
the stuff and stuff out. You got to get these lights and stuff put back in the ceiling,
Yeah, I
fasten
got
in the
all that.
ceiling where they're not open. The light switches fasten where there's covers and they're not open.
Okay.
Um, and these electrical boxes. It looks like there's some unsealed wiring. There's a couple boxes there.
Yeah, I took those down, the
It
ones
looks
that
like
are
you just need an
outside.
electrician to certify or check off that everything's good. Maybe you need a permit from electrical,
No, I
or
don't know. Like
at least a consultation with them. Because see, here's my thing. I don't mind you. I don't. If you get an electrician and you get electrical, get the electrical inspector to sign off that everything's good and safe.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind the inspector lifting the condemnation. But this electrical wiring, when you've already had a fire in there, man, if I let you go back in there and that place burns up and you pass away,
Yeah.
that doesn't look good on us, because the whole reason the inspector's doing their job is to protect your life.
Yeah,
and
I
even the life
understand,
of your
but well,
dog.
do you see what I'm saying? He condemned it the same day, like he condemned it on the 29th. He came out on the 28th. I had no idea they were there. They were knocking on the door. I wasn't there. The very next day, he called and left a voicemail. I called him 2 hours later, and he said he condemned the house and they pulled the power on the 29th and left a 48-hour notice to close the windows. Do you see it? So I just don't understand how that can happen
Yeah,
from the
that's kind
beginning.
of weird. That's kind of weird what the
That
closing
really
windows
happened.
is, because that's not a, because closing windows is not something that they condemn for. If there's no power, that's automatic condemnation.
Yeah, I understand that
And
part.
if there's a fire because of no electricity, that's another reason.
No, there was
And then
no. I was in the fire happened on May 19th. I've been in that house and then all the way until June 29th when they came out there on the 28th and the 29th and condemned it and pulled the power. That's the
okay,
first letter that they've done. If you look at the 29th, the original condemnation for 48-hour notice, it says you have 48 hours to fix these issues, and it was for the windows. They thought they were blown out, but they weren't. It was where I took them out physically so I could move stuff out the window so I wouldn't have to keep running up and down the stairs. And they thought, I guess he thought they were blown out or something, but I just popped them right back in because they're the kind that pop out. And that, so the day he came back, all the windows were closed and fixed. But there was still no power because they pulled the power, is what he said. They pulled the power. And then Larry and his boss, Carla, both came out because of. I left Carla a voicemail and said, I don't understand how y'all can come. They came out with no notice, no nothing whatsoever to let me know that to anything. Because if I knew y'all were coming, I could have popped the windows back in.
I'm looking on the letter that he sent. I'm puzzled by the windows
The very
thing that you're
first
talking
thing,
about.
yeah, the very.
Because I mean, you could be one of. I see the first violation listed here says the exterior of the structure shall be maintained in good repair, structurally sound, and sanitary, so as not to pose a threat to the public health, safety, and welfare.
Yeah, from Tony.
And
It's
it says
from a
building,
police officer.
right? And it says the inspector's note is building is not secure, and scorch patterns are around the window frames, and windows are missing. Then the next one is under unsafe conditions. The following, let's see that same thing. The following conditions shall be determined as unsafe and shall be repaired or replaced to comply with the International Building Code or the International Existing Building Code as required for existing buildings. And it says windows are blown out due to heat from fire damage.
That's not true. I fixed
All
all
right.
the window. I put all the windows back in.
Okay. And then it says the interior, let's see, under
See, that's their
interior
second one. When they
structure.
came in and did the interior, that's the second time they came out.
So it's dated June the 2nd, June 7th is when these violations were marked.
Yeah, they came out on June 29th and did the first window violations. And said I had 48 hours to fix it, and I fixed it within 48 hours because they came back out on June the 1st. Him and Carla both did, his boss.
Alright. So the interior of the structure and equipment therein shall be maintained in good repair, structurally sound, and sanitary condition. Occupants shall keep that all parts of the structure that they occupy or control in a clean and sanitary condition. Every owner of a structure containing a rooming house, housekeeping units, a hotel dormitory, or two or more dwelling units, or two or more non-residential occupancies shall maintain in a clean and sanitary condition the shared public area structure and exterior property. The following conditions shall be determined as unsafe and shall be repaired or replaced to comply with the International Building Code. Okay.
I guess maybe they were talking about where I had put stuff out the window and it was piled up. It looked like trash because it was a whole bunch of stuff I was getting ready to wash off with the pressure washer, but that's all cleaned up now. I don't know if that's it on there or not.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let me get with the inspectors again and take a look. It looks like on June 30th they issued additional violations of damage by fire, wind, or other causes.
They weren't out there on June 30th. That's a lie on the report. They didn't come back out.
You said the 29th.
Yeah, the
So 30th
29th.
will be next day is when they entered it.
Yeah.
Lack of proper electrical heating or plumbing facilities required by the chapter. Fire caused damage to electrical, requiring the meter to be pulled. Unit also missing the fire safety equipment, smoke detectors, and CO detectors.
And that's on the
All
30th?
electrical.
That's on the 30th.
Yeah.
That's a lot. They weren't even inside to know if there was smoke detectors or not. They didn't come in.
No, I see the first ones here. All right, so some of the violations, I'm looking at time date stamps, okay? So the inspectors have, like, if they do an inspection and add a violation, they have 24 hours to update the system.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were on the 29th, these are time date stamped on the 30th.
Yeah.
Now, there is, it looks like there's a comment added on July the 12th.
Yeah, that's our
It
court
says
date day.
Yeah, fire caused damage, and there's pictures of the meter boxes inside. And then, let's see, building not secure. There's more pictures. This is also, these are on June 29th. No, sorry, July 12th. Ground receptacle outside requires covering and loose wires on the exterior of the house.
But he came back out and put the condemned sign on the door on the July the 9th, and that was the day he was supposed to put the pictures of stuff and the list of stuff, and they didn't do that until he came back out on the day of my court date because he talked to Beverly and didn't put it on there right before I went to court. He came out there and put it on the door right before I went, which is so messed up. I don't understand why he's being like that.
Well, now that makes sense. If you said he first came out there on June the 7th, right?
No, he first came out there on June 29th, was the first original, had the 48-hour notice, and then they came back out with him and his boss came back out on June the 1st. And when they came back out on June the 1st, they did the inside inspection, and Carla told me that Larry would be out that was on Thursday, said he would be back out on Tuesday, which was like 5 days later or something on June the 7th. He never showed up, came back out, and didn't come out Wednesday either, came out Thursday, and which was like June the 10th, and he said that, or June the 11th, and he told me that I couldn't be in the house in the morning time. He's coming back to put the condemned sign on the door, on the June the 9th, I mean. And he came back out on June the 9th on a Friday and put the condemned sign on the door and didn't put anything that was wrong or anything until on Monday, when Monday came around right before court.
Okay. Do you have email?
Yeah.
Can you send me an email?
Yeah, I can do that right now.
Now, on like I said, I thought that I was waiting for information from you.
Well, you said that you would call me. I said, can you please call me tomorrow? And you said, I don't know if I'll be able to do that. And you said, I'll get a hold of you as soon as I can. And so I waited. That was the last thing that you said to me.
Okay. Let's see.
Because you realized the circle I was in, and you were like, I see what you're in. And you said that you had other things you had to do that you don't know if you could get a hold of me the next day.
Well, I didn't know if I could reach you because you didn't know where you was going to be staying.
Well, I have a phone that I can charge in my car and get a hold of you.
Yeah, and I never got you. I did try to reach you before I left for the training conference, but I never got a hold of you. Some kind of Google thing had asked. I gave my name, and
I don't know what number you have.
Yeah, it didn't happen. I've tried to reach you once before. And like I said, I went to a training conference, and then when I got back, that's what I'm working on trying to do.
Okay, and so what email should I...
Even appealing, there's no hearing for your case to be heard until the August
August 3rd.
meeting.
Yeah.
So not August 3rd. I think it's August 12th. Let me look. It's August 12th. So when I was reviewing the agenda, that's why I was going to try to get you on so you can get your appeal heard.
Okay.
So it wouldn't matter how quickly I called you back. I couldn't get you on an agenda before then.
Yeah.
All right. So tell me what your grounds are for appealing.
like, shouldn't I be given a notice? Like the 48-hour notice, I did everything that was supposed to be done in the 48-hour notice, which was close the windows. But he had already pulled the power and everything by then, and condemned the house already by then.
Alright,
And
so
I didn't have no
he doesn't
notice, no
pull the-
nothing.
So he doesn't pull the power.
I know, I understand that, but I was led to believe
And
that.
also your notices, you had them on the front door of your house, right?
Yeah, I got it on. He put it on there the 29th and called me the 29th, and I called him back and he told me that he condemned the house and they were pulling the meter to the house.
She wasn't going to beat the kids.
Okay. Yeah, the owner of the property is the one that gets the notices.
Yes.
Any notices that you see are simply a byproduct of what you see on the door of the house with the posting.
Yeah.
The only person that's required to receive notice by law is the property owner, which has received the notice.
So she got a notice before then, but she's by law supposed to give me a notice. It's the federal law right to the
that's on
privacy.
Y'all. That's on y'all.
Yeah.
Civil matter between y'all, not us.
So when did she get the notice?
For city ordinance, we're just to the property owner, to the owner of the property.
Yeah. Well, can you see when she got the notices?
Right. But here's the thing, okay? Your dwelling currently has no power, correct?
No, it doesn't have any power because he said they pulled the meter to the house.
No, don't worry about pulling the meter. You have no power because you have electrical problems with the house, right? Has all of the electrical problems been repaired by an electrician?
Yeah, they're all fixed now.
All electrical issues?
Yeah, all the globes are back on the lights. The one light. The reason the light was hanging out of the ceiling was because I unscrewed the globes to get the soot off the globes and the light, and then I screwed them back up and put them back up.
Alright, what about where the fire was at? Or any of the electrical wiring in that area?
No, it's all been repaired, but nothing melted. Like, it's all sheetrock. Nothing melted or no wood got burnt. Nothing got burnt. The only thing that would have to be replaced is maybe the covering on the light switch. The light switches are still there. They didn't melt or nothing.
Okay. So if all the electrical wiring is good to go, then all you need to do is go to the electrical company, Duke Energy, and get the fire turned back on.
I know, but it's all in her name. So, and she's refusing to cut it back on. See, what she's wanting to do is she wants.
Now you understand. Under an appeal, we can't make her turn the fire back on.
I understand. I've been talking to legal aid. They got a hold of me, and like she's done it illegally and everything. And the only way you get it turned back on, by what I understand, is to go by going through the courts and having a magistrate or judge force her to cut it back on.
Right. Yeah. They're the only path, not us. What's gonna happen with?
I need to have the house uncondemned so I can have somewhere to stay at night too. You see what I'm saying?
You're not gonna be able to stay without power.
Even if I bought, like I said, I bought a generator, that still wouldn't work.
The electrical wiring in the house has to be energized by a permanent power source.
Okay.
Which is your meter boxes.
Yeah.
See, that goes to your outlets and your light stuff. It has to be energized that way.
So if I get the power, I was thinking today if I got the power on in my name by Duke Energy, they would cut it on in my name and then y'all would come and uncondemn it.
Once you have power, if you have power on and there's no unsafe wiring, there's no reason for the structure to be condemned. All you gotta do is call the inspector to come back and check it.
Oh, okay. So I'll do that.
That's the reason they got it condemned is because of unsafe wiring and there is no power to the house.
Yeah. Well, see, you're the first one to tell me all of this. Carla and him said that they wouldn't tell me any of this. They said.
I mentioned it to you when we first talked. It sounded like you said there was no power on it. And I was like, okay, so there's no power. That's the reason that it's condemned. The inspector has to officially condemn a dwelling that has no power because you can't live in it safely.
Yeah, I understand, but see, Carla and them didn't tell me that. They said they were the ones who pulled it. Carla and Larry, I swear to God, they told me they were the ones who pulled it, and they were not going to have it cut back on until that Beverly hired an electrical inspector for $2,500 or something to inspect the house, and then they would inspect it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I swear to God,
But
that's
like
what
I
they
said,
told me.
if your electrical wiring and things have been repaired, then simply just contact the electrical company and you get the power turned on in your name.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah, I'll do that. So, do I need to email you or anything?
Hold on, come.
You can email me or you can give me a call. The email is I was trying to figure out, so I can file an appeal for you, but like I said, the appeal is not going to get your power turned back on.
Okay.
All they're gonna have to find, all the inspector's going to have to demonstrate is that one, there's no power in the structure, and two, that's a reason for condemnation. And if that's the case, you one know the power is off, then it's going to uphold.
Okay.
You know, it means the inspector done the right thing. But the commission's actions is not going to be able to force a lady, your landlord, that turned it off, because they have no power. They have no authority to do that. So I was trying to figure out what the reason is that you want to appeal, so I can be sure to tell the commission your grounds for appeal.
Well, and also I want to be a part of the hearing because my legal aid told me to be a part of the hearing and also to document everything, because she thinks that there's a case for me to go against the city of ordinances for having her, or if they told her to pull the power, or because they told me they were pulling the meter to the house for the windows not being shut without a notice, and she said that's probably a case right there in of itself.
Now, the inspectors don't do that, but is that what you're saying? You're saying the inspectors pulled the meter to your house because the windows were open?
Yes, that's the very original, yes. That's what they told me. That's what Larry told me, yes.
Okay. I'll check on that tomorrow. It don't sound right.
I know, well, okay, but they've lied so much they're going to end up saying, if he tells you the truth, it's going to be amazing. Larry, I don't think, he hasn't really lied not much, but Carla lies constant. I can't believe it. And then the day I came there, she knew I was on my way up to come and see her, and she had walked out the building and left like 2 minutes before I got there, knowing I was on my way there, and she told me how to get in and talk to the security guard to come up and talk to her, and y'all had her come back. And then when she came back out of the office, she goes, "Don't you tell them that I told you to come up here." And I was like, "What do you mean you told me to come up here and do it?" And I was like, "I'm not lying about it." And Carla lies constantly. It's unbelievable. The day I talked to you that day, she left out the building 2 minutes before I got there, because when I talked to the woman at the desk, she goes, "She just walked out of here." And I was like, "What?" And then y'all had her come back in, and then she came back out mad as hell at me, saying that they're under the impression that I told you to come up, and she did.
Okay.
Like, Carla has lied, and I got the report downloaded where they redacted her lies off of the report, the original report, before he came out there and condemned it again. I downloaded it, thank God I downloaded it, and they fixed the report that they put on the house on the 12th, and they redacted all of Carla's lies. But I got the original report where all of Carla's lies in it.
Okay. If you want to send me an email with all that information.
Yeah, I'll definitely, I'm going to send you, yeah, I'll give you the original report. I'll send it to you. What's your email?
It's Troy, Troy.
Okay.
Dot. Powell, Powell, at Greensboro NC .gov.
Okay, I got it. So that's troy.powell at greensboro-nc.gov.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, I'm going to send that to you now. This is going to be the report that I downloaded that morning before, when he was coming back out to recondemn the house. And he said that day, he was like, he told me he wasn't going to give me the report because they had to go back in and fix the report and add new things to the report. I told him that day, I said, "No, you're going back in to take her lies out because I caught y'all lying." And that's what they did.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'll send that to you so you can see it, and like they completely took out everything. Like Carla said, she tried to get a hold of me several times and tried to call my mother. She got my mother's phone number, and my mother hung up on her 3 different times in another lie, and then they redacted all of that. And that's what I was talking to Larry. I said, "Why would she say that? Why would she try to get a hold of my mother?" Like, my mother has nothing. She lives in Madison. Like, why? That don't even make sense. Because I called and left her a voicemail on the 29th after Larry told me they condemned the house and pulled the meter to the house. I said, I want your boss's number now because this can't be right. He gave me her number, said it was Carla, and I called Carla and left a voicemail saying it was an emergency to call me back, and she didn't get back in touch with me until I left a voicemail around 3 p.m. on the 29th, and then she didn't get back in touch with me until around 4:30 p.m. the next day, and I didn't get back in touch with her. Y'all had closed or whatever. Until the next day, I called her and she said she was on her way out there to the house with Larry when they did the inside inspection.
Right.
And so, like, I left her voicemail with my phone number. There was no sense for her to call my mom or to get my mom's number, and my mom hang up on her 3 times when I already left her voicemail with my phone number.
Now, your address, this address is 1128 West Ridge.
Yeah, it's 2 houses on the same property, though. Beverly, the landlord, lives in the main house up front, and in the back, I'm in the house in the back that they built back in, like, 1943. But it's the same address for both houses.
Okay. All right. I'll look at what you sent me, okay? And I'll get an appeal filed for you for the August meeting.
All right. Thank you so much. I'll send that to you.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.